Hello friends, today we will see how to solve numerical on power screw. Power screw, as you know, it consists of a screw spindle which will pass through a nut, and load is carried by a cup, and handle is rotated in horizontal plane so that load can be raised or lowered. As you know, a power screw is a screw and nut system which is used to change angular or rotary motion into linear motion. Linear motion means upward and downward to raise and lower the load, and along with motion, it is generally used to transmit power. So now we'll see how to solve numerical on power screw. Hello friends, let us start with numerical on power screw. Let us take a case where we need to design a power screw for load of 85 kilonewton, which is to be raised through a height of 300 millimeter. We are asked to design power screw by selecting suitable material for various parts like nut and bolt, and at the same time we are also asked to check the screw for buckling. Buckling is to be checked if asked, otherwise there is no need to check the screw for buckling. Now let us start designing by selection of material. We will first select material for screw and nut. So screw is taken here is of steel and nut of cast iron. So selecting material for screw first. Here we are going to refer to PSG design data book, and page number 1.9 gives us the material for screw, that is C40 is the material which you have selected, and yield strength for the same is 330 Newton per mm square, and factor of safety is considered to be 4. So finding out the shear stress 0.5 times sigma y divided by factor of safety, it gives us 330 multiplied by 0.5 divided by 4, it comes out to be 41.25. so we will consider it as 41 Newton per mm square. So the permissible limit for a screw material for shear stress as 41 Newton per mm square. Now selecting bending stress or crushing stress, that is equal to yield strength divided by factor of safety. So it comes out to be 82.5, which we will consider it to be 82 Newton per mm square as permissible limit for bending or crushing stress. So after finding stresses for screw, let us go for finding out material and permissible stresses for it. For nut, we will be considering GCI 20 from PSG 1.4. For it, ultimate stress is 200 Newton per mm square, and factor of safety will consider X because it is cast iron. So finding out permissible limit for it is tensile stress as ultimate stress divided by factor of safety, it comes out to be 33 Newton per 33.33 means 33 Newton per mm square, and crushing stress is considered to be 2 times of tau. For our safety purpose, we will be taking it as 66.66 Newton per mm square. Now here bearing pressure, because nut and screw both are in contact with each other, so for the combination we will have to find out what is the bearing pressure, because nut will be carrying the load of a screw spindle, that is screw, and for the combination of steel screw and cast iron nut we will be referring to PSG design data book, page number 7.87. By referring to this page, we will get bearing pressure as 80 kgf per centimeter square. Now we need to convert this unit to Newton per mm square. So for converting it to Newton per mm square, we need to multiply 80 kgf by 10, which will convert it to Newton, and centimeter square means divided by 100. So we will get 8 Newton per mm square as the bearing pressure. So to make you understand, I am showing the conversion of kgf per centimeter square to Newton per mm square. So 80 kgf is multiplied with 10 and divided by 100 means centimeter square. Mm square is converted to centimeter. Centimeter square is converted to mm square. By dividing it by 100, it comes out to be 8 Newton per mm square. Now let us start designing screw. As you know that since the screw jack is taking load of 85 kilonewton, the screw or screw spindle is subjected to compressive load, compressive stresses. And now to find compressive stresses, we know it is W upon area resisting failure. So load upon area resisting compressive failure, it is 85 kilonewton is the load which is acting and the stress is 82. So it comes out to be 1036.58 mm square. Now as you know, along with the direct compressive stress, it is also, the screw is also taking torsional shear stress. So hence the area resisting failure is considered to be more for calculation purpose, and it is considered as 1.3 times of the area which is calculated, that is 30% more. So calculating the new area by multiplying the obtained area by 1.3, so it comes out to be 1347.56. So from PSG 5.71 selecting standard area and outside diameter and core diameter. After finding outside and core diameter, finding out mean diameter by DO plus DC by 2. If you look at a screw jack, it consists of a body over which the screw jack is going to rest. There is a screw spindle which is going to pass through a nut. There is a head through which a handle is passing, which is rotated in horizontal direction by an effort. There is a cup which is going to carry a load. The screw spindle is threaded, hence it has got core diameter, outside diameter, and mean diameter which you have calculated as DO plus DC by 2. Now to overcome the friction between nut and screw, we need a torque. That torque we know it is to be calculated, and that calculation is done here. So if you rotate a screw by one complete rotation, we know that it is going to raise by pitch, and the helix angle is alpha. When a thread is opened, it gives us a total length of pi dm. So alpha is calculated for one complete rotation. We know that it is going to be raised by a distance pitch. So tan alpha is calculated because alpha is required. So pitch upon pi dm. So it gives us alpha. Alpha comes out to be 3.16 degrees Celsius. Now from PSG 7.87, we also need a frictional angle. So this is helix angle. Frictional angle is also required to calculate torque required to overcome friction at screw. So from PSG 8.78, the value of phi is between 6 to 8 degree. We can see it from PSG. So here we will take it as 7 degree. Now we need to now calculate the torque required to overcome friction at screw, that is T1. So T1 requires alpha as well as phi and mean diameter dm. So that is why all the earlier steps which you have done, where alpha is calculated, phi is calculated, and mean diameter dm is also calculated. So mean diameter dm is calculated from area, that is standard area, which is calculated from compressive stress. Then alpha is calculated by considering one complete rotation and the screw which is raised by one pitch, and phi is assumed to be 7 degree. So we will come to know T1 is equal to W tan alpha plus phi mean diameter by 2. So by putting all the values, we will get T1. T1 comes out to be 350,632.907 Newton mm. Now let us see what are the shear stresses in screw. We know the torque required to overcome friction at screw T1 is equal to pi by 16 tau 1 d cube. So this equation can be used to find out tau 1 because all other values are known to us. So tau 1 is calculated, which comes out to be pi by 16 tau 1 dc cube. Dc is 42 cube, so tau 1 comes out to be 24.10 Newton per mm square. Now as we know, the compressive stress for the new area, because the compressive stress which you have calculated earlier was for the area which was not modified. Now for modified area from which we have calculated the dimensions of screw, that is DC, DO and pitch, so that is to be taken into account. So when you take that into account, so sigma C comes out to be W upon new area. New area is 1385, so sigma C is calculated, that is 61.37 Newton per mm square. So once this is calculated, from this we know tau 1 is known, sigma C is known, we know maximum shear stress theory asks us to find out tau max as 1 by 2 under root sigma C square plus 4 times of tau square. This gives us sigma, that is tau max, as calculated as 39.018. So shear stress is 39, so which is less than 41 Newton per mm square, so it is safe. So at the same time, in the similar way, we can find out sigma B max by maximum principal stress theory, that is half of sigma C plus under root sigma C square plus 4 times of tau 1 square. By putting all the values, we can find out sigma B max, and we will have to again find out whether it is less than the permissible limit of bending stress, which is 82 Newton per mm square. If sigma B is less than 82 Newton per mm square, means it is safe. So putting all the values in the equation, we will get sigma B as 69, which is less than the permissible limit of bending stress, that is 82 Newton per mm square. Now moving ahead, since buckling of screw is also to be calculated, so here making use of Johnson's parabolic formula from PSG 6.8, because buckling will happen when the screw spindle is raised to maximum height and there is a possibility of buckling. So by considering it as short column, we will have to make use of Johnson's parabolic formula, which is given on PSG 6.8. so that is written here. Head is to be calculated, H is equal to 2 times of dm, that is also given. Now L is to be calculated, that is lifting height. Lifting height plus head by 2 is going to be L. So L, which is given, that is lifting height, is given 92 by 2 is going to be H by 2. So L comes out to be 346 mm. Now by considering end fixity, we will come to know that lower end is hinged and the load acting is on another end. So we need to calculate N. N as per PSG 6.8 is 0.25. Okay, K is 0.25 times of DC, and Young's modulus is 2.1 into 10 raised to power 5 Newton per mm square. Sigma y is already known. So PC is to be calculated. Putting all the values, PC comes out to be, and this PC should be, means buckling limit or the load at which buckling will happen or the screw will buckle or cripple, that load should be much more than the load to which this screw jack is subjected to. So screw jack is subjected to 85 kilonewton, and if crippling load comes out to be more than 85, means the screw is safe in buckling. So we'll have to find it out by putting all the values. The crippling load comes out to be 350 kilonewton. So it is much more than the load to which it is subjected to, that is 85 kilonewton. So we can say that the screw is safe in buckling. So this step is to be calculated when asked. Now after this, let us move to design of nut. We on the cup and the load is carried by nut, and we need to find out dimensions of nut which is sufficient enough to take that load and it is not going to fail. So minimum dimension we need to calculate. So to find that, here we can see this is nut. Now how it is going to fail? It is going to fail in tension, shear and crushing, that we will see one by one. So if you look at the nut, this is the outside diameter of nut, that is D1, and there inside there is DO and DC. So the screw spindle will pass through it, this nut, and height of nut is considered to be H. So this is DC and DO, outside diameter, core diameter and height of nut. Okay, now let us consider first we need to calculate number of teeths which are in engagement with the nut. So that can be calculated by considering bearing pressure. So all these threads which are in contact with the nut in height H, that is to be calculated. So bearing pressure is load upon area. Area is pi by 4. Now bearing pressure, bearing will be between DO and DC. So pi by 4 DO square minus DC square. This is for n number of threads which are in engagement. So n is to be calculated and n comes out to be 18 point something, that is equal to 19. So height of nut is number of threads in engagement with the nut and multiplied by pitch. So pitch we know it is 8. So 19 into 8 is 152, and for square thread thickness of the tooth is pitch by 2. So pitch by 2 means 8 by 2, that is 4. Now let us consider nut in shear. Nut in shear. Now area is resisting failure of nut in shear is, if you look at this nut here, now it will fail between D O. Shear is along P. So pi DO into T, and here it is n number of areas. So pi DO into T into n is going to give us shear stress. So this is the way shear stress is calculated. So tau nut is, this comes out to be 7.12 Newton per mm square. So that is less than permissible shear stress of nut. Now after shear, let us consider tearing of nut. So tearing of nut will happen on DO and D1. So sigma T is the tensile failure, W upon area resisting failure is going to be the area between D1 and DO. If you look at this, I will explain you. Let us take this is a nut and these are DO and DC. The screw will pass through it. Now if you see, the area resisting failure is the least area between D1 and DO or D1 and DC. If you look at it, the lesser area is between DO and D1. So the area resisting failure would be pi by 4 D1, capital D1 square minus DO square. So sigma T is to be is equal to W divided by pi by 4 D1 square minus DO square. So D1 is calculated here. D1 comes out to be, by putting all the values, D1 comes out to be 75.80. Now consider shearing of nut. Shearing of nut will happen at the head. So shear is in the direction of W. The vertical failure will be shown here. So it is going to be the circumference. It is pi and this diameter is D1. Okay, so pi D1 into T1. So D1 is already calculated. Now we can calculate T1 by putting value of D1 in this equation, W divided by pi D1 T1. So T1 is calculated, it comes out to be 10.70 Newton per millimeter. Now crushing failure of nut. The crushing will happen at head. The dimensions would be D1 and D2. These two will be considered for crushing. So here it is shown. So the area resisting failure is pi by 4 D2 square minus D1 square. So as D1 is already known, we can calculate D2. D2 comes out to be 85.84 mm. As we have seen, while designing nut, we have considered tension, shear and crushing of nut. So here there will be tearing. So there D1 and DO is considered. So pi by 4 D1 square minus DO square is the area which is resisting failure. Now in case of shear, the area resisting failure would be pi D1 T1, and for crushing it is going to be pi by 4 D1 D2 square minus D1 square. Now for cup, we need to consider D3 and D4. So while designing, to find out T2, that is torque required to overcome friction at collar, so D3 and D4 is to be considered. So let us see how it is to be designed by to overcome friction at collar. So that will be T2. T1 is already calculated, T2 will calculate, and T1 plus T2 is going to give us total torque required to overcome friction at screw as well as at collar. Now to find torque required to overcome friction at collar, that is T2, we know T2 is mu1 WR. Mu1, why? Because mu is already considered as friction between the screw and nut. So it is mu1. Mu1 is between screw at it is friction at collar. So for uniform pressure condition, R is 2/3 of R3 cube minus R4 cube divided by R3 square minus R4 square. Here we have considered R1 and R2 as R3 R4 because R1 R2 are already considered for nut. For collar it is R3 R4. So by uniform pressure condition, considering uniform pressure condition, it is mu1 WR. R is 2/3 of R3 cube minus R4 cube divided by R3 square minus R4 square. Now by putting all the values of R3 and R4 that are to be calculated, phi is considered to be 6. So mu1 is tan phi 1, it comes out to be 0.10 as mu. D3 is 1.6 times of DO, it is assumption, so it comes out to be 80, so R3 is going to be 40. Similarly R4 is to be calculated by finding out D4. D4 is 0.5 times of D3, that is 40 mm, so therefore R4 comes out to be 20 mm. Now putting all the values in the equation, we will get T2. So T2 can be calculated, it comes out to be 277,666.67 Newton per mm square. So this is T2. This is torque required to overcome friction at collar. So total torque is torque required to overcome friction at screw, that is T1, plus torque required to overcome friction at collar, that is T2. T1 plus T2 is T, and this torque is equal to this torque we need to get by effort at handle at a length of L1. So calculated. So P1 into L1 is equal to total torque. So we know that a person can apply maximum effort of, let's say, 40 kg, that is 400 Newton, 300 to 400 Newton. So we'll consider it as 400. So assuming it as 40 kg is the force which effort which a person can apply. So L1 can be obtained, and L1 by assuming 400 Newton as the effort applied by a person, so L1 is 1719 mm. So adding allowance, gripping allowance, it comes out to be 1750 mm. Now as we have calculated length of the handle, so we know that to find out bending, we need to find out bending moment. Bending moment is equal to again P1 into L1. So bending moment comes out to be 700 into 10 raised to power 3 Newton mm. Now for handle, let the material be C40, for that is 330 Newton per mm square is sigma y. And now finding out sigma B, which comes out to be 330 by 2, which is equal to 165 Newton per mm square. So we know sigma b is equal to m by z. M is already calculated, that is 700 into 10 raised to power 3 Newton millimeter, and z for circular section is pi by 32 d raised to power 3. Therefore diameter of handle is 35 millimeter approximately. So this is how screw jack is designed. We have seen all the parts, we have calculated all the dimensions by taking into account its permissible limit, and cup is designed, handle is designed, screw is designed, spindle nut is designed. So this is the way a screw jack is designed. Length of the handle is calculated, diameter of handle is also calculated. So you can practice of solving similar kind of problems. Thank you.